Hello and welcome back to Behind the Curve Gaming. In this video we're going to go through a few pickups, and the main subject matter of the video is probably going to be my 2025 thoughts, aims, objectives, basically my 2025 and how we're going to be going about things. So let's get into the video. So I popped into one of my local charity shops recently that sells electronics and things like that, and I actually managed to pick up a few little bargains. Now typically they're £1 each or £2 for a box set. I did manage to pick up Batman, the most recent Batman film with Robert Pattinson. Really good film, really cool. Brand new sealed, Blu-ray, £1. Awesome. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I think they've dropped the whole part business now, the last one, the naming for the last one. But again, brand new and sealed. £1 on Blu-ray. Fantastic. Straight into the collection, those ones. Really happy with those. Now I popped into CEX to pick something a little bit special up, and along the way I did my usual kind of stock checks. Now this has not been in stock for weeks, or at least every time I go it's not in stock. Not locally whatsoever even. Star Wars Squadrons for PS4. Now PS4 specifically because VR, and I have the whole PSVR thing now. At least the first one for PS4. So I can finally play that, and that's going to be freaking awesome when I finally get around to it. So yeah, I think that's like £4, no complaints there. And again on the Doctor Who, I am slowly but surely picking these up. They have this behind the counter. My CEX always has, or at least for the most part, all the steelbooks, special editions, collector's editions, all behind the counter now on the shelf, so you kind of have to stand there and squint. This was just like that. And it was about, what, 1.5 metres away, and I was just like, what's that one right at the end? Is that Doctor Who? And I happened to do the 5th series, which I believe is exactly the next one that I need. And it's like a tin edition, and I think this was either £6 or £8, so a couple more pounds than it would have otherwise been. And it is in decent condition, considering its age. So, another one ticked off. I am slowly getting all the new Who. Unfortunately, as they get newer, they're probably going to get more expensive. Such is life. Top tip, if you are a Doctor Who fan whatsoever, they are actually all available on BBC iPlayer, all of the classic ones, which is fantastic. So I did recently slim down my classic collection. I just don't need them. So I have my first vintage pickup of 2025. Now this isn't some sort of absolute bargain. This is something that around 4 or 5 years ago I was going through some of my old stuff. And this was something that I was like, I'm never going to need that again. It's like a 10, 12-year-old game. I'm never going to play it again. And even if I do, I'll just use the internet. I do not need this. So I got rid of it. And at the time, I think they were like £30. And so I had a quick look online, on eBay and on Vinted. And £20 seems to be the going rate. I favorited a few. Someone that afternoon sent me an offer for £15. So with postage, I think this came to like £19.99. So by no means is this a banging deal. It was just around the going rate, but it's only because I think the guy had said that it did include the map and just had a little bit more description over and above the other sellers who are also listing these things for around 18 to 20, £25. So let's open it together now and hope the condition's good. And we have ourselves, oh, it's so thick. So thick. I think this has got some wear. It's not mint or an excellent condition. I think it should be good. Oh, I hate the padding for that, but at least they sent in a padded mailer. And that is Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition Strategy Guide. Will I be sat there using this whilst I play Fallout 3? Possibly. You know what? The nostalgic thought behind that, going, oh yeah, take me back to 2006 off the top of my head. I've got a strategy guide. I'm sat there on my old TV. I've got no internet, I've got no social media. I'm sat there and I'm playing through my quests. Oh, what choice do I make? What do I go down? What's going to get me the coolest reward, you know? I'm not necessarily into role-playing as such, but I always would play the good-ish characters. I wouldn't say it's poor, I wouldn't necessarily say it's good either. Let's say this was 15 plus postage, but it has got the map. Now the one that I sold, I remember it had the map in the back. And these are they've got that perforated thing and it's right at the back and it's still there. I hadn't taken it out whatsoever, which I think is why I got 30 quid for it at the time, because I could show that it was in here and it was intact, it had never been taken out. And it is in much better condition than this. But the Game of the Year edition, look at how thick that bad boy is. Because of all the DLCs that are in here, it was pointless me getting a standard one, which you can get for a tenner. probably less than that. But this is over 700 pages of awesome. Now, Fallout 3 was my introduction to Fallout. I think one summer I was at my nan and granddad's around the GCSEs time, which would have been that 2006 era. And I just got into it big time. I absolutely love it. And then New Vegas came out, again, fantastic. And then a few years later, well, several years later, Fallout 4 came out, and in its own way, again, fantastic. It went a bit too linear, but amazing game. There will be some more content around Fallout in general on the channel. I did pick it up the other day, and then Fallout 3 on the console, because 3 does work on, it is backwards compatible, so I can just whack on the Xbox One and it just works, which is nice, which is much shorter load of times, as far as I can tell. And it looks decent, like it got like a, I don't know if it kind of upscales it, but it looked like it was in HD, which is really nice. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll complete it. I've got it now for my collection. I really need to find some way of putting these on the shelf, because obviously if I put them, even if they've got loads of them, so they're not standing, if they're standing and they're not falling over, they just end up falling, and then, you know, they get bent out of shape. But at the same time, I don't find it appealing piling them up. I don't think that's very aesthetically pleasing at all. So I almost need those folder holder type plastic things, but I'm not sure they'd really fit in here. So yeah. And at the moment some space has been taken up on the sides of my shelves and things, but yeah, so that is something I need to look into. Again, a reason why I want the room not freezing, essentially. I don't want a load of moisture to be getting in here. I want it to be above freezing, at least some sort of warmth in here. I don't want all of my old paper items to be curling and deteriorating in poor conditions, basically. So I've got a small item, didn't realise it was going to be quite this small, that's what she said, to add to the games room. Let's just quickly open this package. So kind of in a similar vein to the Fallout 3 strategy guide that I just came across, I just wanted it, and that's going to be a little bit of what we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Okay, that is a absolutely minuscule, I thought it would be a little bit bigger than this, minuscule Star Trek Next Generation Light and Sound Borg cube. No idea how close that needs to be for you to actually see the packaging, at least. Let's get this bad boy open. So this was like £10 something, right? Voyager was my Star Trek. Hence this, which you probably can't quite make out what it is, but it's actually a 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager. Funnily enough, you know, late 90s, nearly a teenager, probably one of my first TV crushes. Pretty normal, pretty natural, and that's exactly the reason why she's brought onto the show, for all that little bit of sex appeal. Why have I got a proper thick instruction manual here for this thing, which keeps getting smaller? I thought it had like a little thing, yeah, it does. Like, I was hoping this would be like double the size of this, so you might actually be able to see it in a video. But it is something that I would like to kind of like, maybe not collect for, get a load of these different ones. All the only ones that I could see available, like Star Trek tricorders, handheld things. I don't know why. Obviously there has been like a whole series, I think, of like Eagle Moss. It's one of those pay, you know, like $1.99 for the first issue, and then after that they're like $6.99 every month or week or whatever it might be, and there's going to be like 100 of them. Pull the tab out, put the stand on. Okay, probably not going to get that across, but loud. It's loud for such a tiny little cube. We're going to whack that up there for now. So a very small edition, bought for my own money. Something I'm trying not to do. Outside the cube, inside the cube, squaring the cube, tactical cubes, cubing the sphere. Diamonds are a queen's best friend. What? Okay, so I've got like a little like kind of booklet. Weird, but I don't know whether this is from like some sort of series, deluxe mega kit. Okay, either way, cool little piece. Onto the meat of the video, I guess. So for anyone still here, or if you may have skipped ahead, thanks for watching the video, or for possibly sitting through however 10 minutes of just a few random pickups. I thought it was important to try and put out a early 2025 video. So I've been back on YouTube, or doing YouTube, for I think it was end of October, so I'm just going to say 3 months basically, or nearly 3 months now. So this is going to be my first, hopefully, full year of doing the YouTubes, if you will. So I thought it was important to put something out there now that I have got a few subscribers and I'm getting a few views regularly now. For anyone that is watching, or any recurring viewers, of what we're going to be doing and how it's going to be working. So I end up spending most of my voucher over Christmas. There is still a video that needs to be shot, recorded, edited and put up, which will hopefully be probably a few days after this one. And that's where most of my voucher's gone. I've since got back most of that, not most of that voucher, I've got back half that voucher again, so I think I'm sitting at about 140, 150 voucher. And I need to talk about how we're going about getting that. Now, the problem with this is I've been collecting for like 18 months or so. Now I've got a huge problem kind of like that impulse. I know something's a good deal, or it's potentially a bargain, or I just have that, I really want that, therefore I want it now, right? The age-old of ask for forgiveness later. So with the Fallout 3 strategy guide, I wanted that and it seemed like a decent price. In reality, it's probably the going price. I wanted this little ball cube. In fairness, that was out of my eBay balance, and that's kind of where we're going with this. So it's all too easy to say £30 here, £50 there. This month I've put £60 into building a CEX voucher and I've got 120 back, kind of thing. In reality, that is still £60 out, and I can't afford that, so I need to be really careful. I need to be much more stringent with myself over this year going forward. I've got things that I need to be trying to save money for, and as I'm sure of a lot of people right now, things aren't cheap, things aren't easy. Got a young family, bills to pay, that kind of thing, and they're not going to go away just because I want things for me. So starting pretty much last week or so, I've got into the mindset of, right, I can't just spend money for the sake of it, or oh, but I'm investing, or into the YouTube or into my collection, because ultimately I'm not going to realise that anytime soon. So I'm going to be looking to sell things, whether that is household things, clothes, books, things that are from my collection that I don't want anymore. There's a lot of things around the house, there's a lot of stuff about the place which doesn't need to be here, and whether it has any monetary value or not. If it gets sold on Vinted, I can sell it on eBay or whatever. If my monthly income via my full-time job can take care of the bills just about, then I need to separate any money that I am spending on me or my collection, and I'm going to use a Vinted fund or an eBay fund balance for that. So I'm not just going to go willy-nilly and spend £50 and go, oh, I'll make it up later by getting rid of something else. I want to only be spending that balance on those two platforms that I've built up already, in a way to kind of make it like a free collection. There's nothing at the moment that I'm thinking of, I'm going to have to shift this thing, which means a lot to me, just to raise some money. At the moment, I might show you a very brief clip. My wife has recently sorted out her books. Not the Christmas just gone, but the Christmas before, I bought her a book a day for her advent calendar, so she got a book a day. Come to the point where I think she must have had like 60, 70, 80 books. I just had to sort through and gone like, right, get rid of 75%. So I've got a ton of books to sort through, and hopefully they're going to have a few £1 each value, maybe. And I've been getting stuff up on my Vinted, and already once those sales come through, I should have about £20, which is not a lot, but it's not nothing. So that's how I need to go about things. I need to be smart. If I come across something, try my best to only get it if I've got the balance available, rather than eating into funds that needed elsewhere. We're still going to be building up CEX voucher. I think my main and biggest goal is going to be the Death Stranding Edition PS4 Pro, which last time I was asking was around 200 unboxed, I believe. I would still like to get the DJI Pocket 2 creator bundle, which again runs around £200 to £250 depending on where you get it from. Because that bundle comes with a microphone as well, my DJI Pocket, I don't believe, is capable of pairing to the DJI mic. So I'm not looking for microphones or anything for that at the moment. I know that my audio could definitely improve, but I want that bundle, that creator bundle that comes with everything. So I'd rather not pay twice. I'd rather just wait and save up for that thing. I think the picture quality is okay. The lighting's not always fantastic, and I'm trying to get better at that. I'm unfortunately recording this on work lunchtime on my phone because the camera's unfortunately in my bag at work, so it's on my phone, but I've got a light behind here, so hopefully it's not too bad. I'm not necessarily going down any completely new avenues. My list for things that I would like is pretty much unchanged. So there's still a few Mega Drive games that I'd like that my dad used to have when I was a child, and I'd like to have those again. There's a number of very cheap Xbox One games that I went scrolling through CEX for, £2 to £5. I've added about 10 to 15 games on there that would be very cheap for me to pick up, and they look like they'd be a bit of fun. PS4, gone off a little bit, still a very small collection there. PS3, we're still looking for those essentials every now and again, and there's just only a few games on there. 360, again, just a few games on there. My collection's looking pretty good at the moment. Media, a little bit of Doctor Who, and as I say, I'm also trying to add a few nostalgic toys, as it were, right, rather than like games, like Star Trek bits and pieces. I think you just about see Doctor Who Davros up here. I think you recently saw, and I might have got a small bit of B-roll for a Lego Star Wars Landspeeder. I've added a few Lego pieces onto my list as well. They all add up to a hell of a lot of money, but just, I don't want to clutter the place, but I would like a few pieces just dotted around, as long as I can still keep it tidy. Right now, I'm pretty happy with how things are looking. I've had a small change around, so I think, what have I got up here now? I've just got the guides. I still need to find a better way to display those. I don't really like them sitting like this. Let me know what you think, or let me know if you've got a load, what do you do about them? So they stand up, they're just going to sag. I've got original PS3, got some controllers and that up there. You probably can't quite see it, but the Final Fantasy bundle's up here. PC, Pokemon, PS1 games, yada yada yada. I've just got a load of hooks, rather than like getting controller hooks that go onto the wall that are like 2 for £10. I think these are a load of like DIY garage hooks, which for me should do exactly the same job, right? But there's like 12 for £10. So 2 hooks per, that's 6 controllers hopefully. Getting this messy thing out the way, and hopefully just having a nice line of controllers, whether it's a double line, whatever. Not quite got around to that yet. So rounding up, still plenty of things to go for, plenty of things to do. I think my Dirt Rally review, if you call it a review, kind of experience, I still would call myself a reviewer or anything like that. I'm just someone who played the game for a number of hours. I think that did relatively well, at least on my channel, as well as things do. So I'll look to do a few more gameplay and gaming videos along the way over the course of the year, just to have a small, it's related of course, it's a gaming collection channel, and there's going to be some gaming along the way, as well as a few pieces on items surrounding a gaming collection, or at least growing up in the 90s and toys and things like that. So I'm looking to expand on the things that I've done so far, and hopefully bring you interesting videos, right, or stuff that I've picked up along the way that's really cool. Maybe if the chance comes up in a charity shop or boot sale, whatever it might be, it might be a few games or whatever it might be. I might just flip a few things here and there. Obviously in the UK, at least on like Vinted or eBay or whatever, you have like, I think it's £1,000 or whatever you're allowed to get up to before you should be a business seller and all that kind of stuff. If it just helps along the way, just a quick flip. If I notice something, it's not something I necessarily want, it doesn't really go for voucher. Small example, I bought like a bundle of like 10 Blu-rays the other week at the charity shop. I kept like 3 of them, and the rest of them, so for that like £10 that it cost me, I think they would have traded in for around £20 voucher. And at the time I was like, not everything's going to go towards a voucher. Some of that I want just to build up those funds so that I can spend on this stuff. And I think so far there's like 2 Blu-rays left. I've sold them very, very competitively. And I think I have got like £20 back in funds after fees and postage and things. And I'm more than happy if at that monetary value, you know, I'm not looking to become a reseller or anything like that, or have any sort of business account anywhere. But at that sort of monetary value, if, you know, I'm making a 10-20 quid every month just on a few flips, then that's well within my personal allowance of what I'm allowed to do. So I don't take issue with that. I don't think anyone else should do. So to everyone watching, thank you for watching the video. Any new viewers, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you subscribe. Any recurring viewers, thank you so much. And for 2025, I really like to obviously grow the channel, keep pushing forward in the quality, in how I come across, in making sure I make a point in some of these videos that it's YouTube. So as always, please like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.